In this video, I'm going to share with you how to scale from $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month as an online coach. Now, for quick context, I've built both low ticket and high ticket coaching companies to 7 figures. And regardless of high ticket or low ticket, what you're selling, both require these two things to really scale. So for me to share this, I'm going to be going on my iPad and we're going to be doing some drawings to break down this process in more detail. But before I do, if you could smash the subscribe button, because I create daily content just like this to help coaches grow and scale their coaching businesses. More subscribers means more content, which means you can grow your business faster. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so if you're already doing $10,000 a month, ignore my handwriting, it's not the prettiest, okay? If you're already doing it $10,000 a month as an online coach, specifically we work with health coaches, so they're selling something between $300 and $500 a month, right? Typically, if you're making $10,000 a month, that means it probably should just be you. You shouldn't have like an assistant coach at this point. So you're gonna have anywhere from, let's say, 20 to 30 clients at that price point. Now, if you're doing life coaching or business coaching, you might have like a 1K a month or 2K a month offer, and you might have just like 5 to 10 clients a month, right? That you have total. And that's great. But the problem here is once you get to this stage, right? All right, cool. I'm doing 10, 20K a month, but I max out on this big thing, time, right? There's no more time left. How do I create marketing content? How do I still conduct sales calls? And how do I have time to coach my clients with all that that's going on, right? And that becomes the bottleneck. So once you make your first 10K, 20K, it's probably you, it might be a VA, and maybe you've got an assistant coach or someone who's helping you with marketing or sales. But for the most part, it really shouldn't be because you're not making that much money. But to 10X that, to go from 10K to 20K, you need more things, okay? And I'm gonna share with you the two most important things that you're gonna need, regardless of price point, regardless of your offer. Everyone needs this, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start with the first one. Number one, what you're gonna need is systems, okay? So when you're getting started at that like 10 to 20K a month mark, you're pretty much just selling. You're probably selling to friends, family, your network, etc. And you really don't need that much systems because most of those people that you're selling to, they already know, like, and trust you. So it's not like you're having to follow up and do a bunch of nurturing and doing a lot of communication, a lot of reminders, etc. You don't need all that. You really don't. But once you are here at the 10, 20K a month mark and time becomes the issue, systems fix the time problem, okay? And they do that in two ways. Number one is we start to use systems to automate a lot of the repetitive tasks that we're doing, whether that's onboarding, offboarding, even some like manual like data entry, etc., follow-ups. All of that stuff can be automated. And number two, it fixes the problem because it also allows us to delegate, right? So delegation's a big part of this. I want to hit on this real quick as we get into delegate, because we can outsource a lot of sales, we can outsource a lot of lead generation, aka DMs. But when it comes to systems around delegation, I'm going to have this be the major talking point here is coaching, okay? If you have a coaching business and you want to scale it, we need a scalable model, okay? Because look, like having systems for like a lot of the back end admin work, that'll get maybe like, let's just say both of these, like, automate and delegate admin tasks, that could get you 5 hours a week back, right? 5 hours a week back. But that's really not that much, right? If you really want to scale to 100K a month, you need more than 5 hours a week back. You need more people. You need more people to help coach your clients so you can take on more people to help them get results. So when we talk about systems, we're going to continue with the model. Let's talk about the business model real quick. So you have really two options here when it comes to systems. Number one is you can continue to scale. Let's say we're doing high ticket with one-on-one coaching, okay? Or number two is what we can do is group coaching, okay? I'll tell you there's pros and cons to both. I really like actually having group coaching with a one-on-one element, so kind of a hybrid approach. But for simplicity's sake, let's just talk about this. One-on-one coaching, if you guys are already tapped out at 20 to 30 clients, which is pretty much like a really good sweet spot for like health coaches before you hire your first assistant coach who's only going to do coaching. If we're doing one-on-one coaching, your roster size for a health coach, you should only have like 20 to 30 really clients max, okay, at a time. And then what you can do is if you hire somebody else to build systems around fulfillment, every support coach you have can have 65 to 100 clients at a time. Now, this is going to differ based off of the amount of touch points they receive. If they're having one-on-one calls bi-weekly or monthly, it's going to be closer to this. If they're having Loom check-ins or just like email, text communication, you're going to be looking closer to the 100 mark, right? But you're going to need a system here. And I want to just emphasize here this number that I shared up here of like 20 to 30. That's a really good sweet spot for you before you start hiring a coach. Because what can happen here is if you try to get to 60, 70 clients yourself and you're still doing sales and marketing, well, guess what? When you hire a coach, you have to now train them. You have to train them on how to coach. You have to build systems for here's how we onboard, here's how we offboard, here's how we solve problems. And you have to train that coach to be good. So if you wait until you have 50 clients, let's say, cool, I got 50 clients, but guys, I'm making 30K a month. You're now really time poor, like really time poor, which sucks, right? And it's gonna be really hard for you to continue to scale. Okay, so I really like the one-on-one coaching model to scale first before introducing group. And the reason for that is that the sales process stays the same, the level of touch point stays the same, and the perceived likelihood of success and value is way higher for a potential client that's getting one-on-one support versus group. Now, the caveat here is, do you want to manage more coaches? Okay, do you want to manage more coaches? Because if we're trying to get to 100K a month, okay, let's say we're just going to do some quick numbers for math to see how many coaches do you actually need to hit 100K a month with the one-on-one coaching model. If I'm doing 100K a month, like I shared up here, let's say your price point is $350, okay, we need about 30 clients to make 10K, okay? This is assuming you're doing monthly. I like packages, but we're just going to do monthly for the sake of it, okay? So if it's $350 a month, you got 30 clients to make 10K. So we need 10 of those. So we're going to need times 10, we're going to need 300 clients to make $100,000 a month with a one-on-one coaching model. And if you saw up here, right, if one coach can support 65 to 100 clients, we need at least 4 coaches, okay? We need at least 4 coaches to be making that. Probably closer to 5 because not everyone's gonna have a full roster, right? So do you, as the entrepreneur, as the coach, do you wanna manage 4 coaches, right? What that's gonna look like, just for an insider scoop of this, like my team, we have 3 coaches and myself, so there's 4 of us, and we're doing 100K months. We charge a little bit more than $350 a month, but yeah, we meet as a group twice a week. Okay, so we meet twice a week to communicate on our clients. We go through our entire list of all the clients that we serve, and it helps us get really clear on who's got problems and needs support. Do we need to offer them a call? How can we really support them through this time where they're feeling, either down or they're just not seeing the progress that we want them to see and we believe they should be seeing, okay? So if you have 4 coaches, you're probably gonna have 2 meetings a week. And like just for simplicity's sake, let's say you meet on Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesday, 2 of the coaches will review their roster, right? And then on Thursday, the other 2 coaches will review their roster and talk about the problem people they have. So that's gonna be part of it. And then also with that many clients and coaches, you're gonna need to have systems, again, in place to audit the work that they're doing to make sure that it's up to your standard, right? At 4 or 5 coaches, that's a place when you would want to do that. But what you would do is have one of the 4 coaches be the lead coach, right? And then this one lead. And typically at this point, if you just have 4 coaches, it's still gonna be you. You're still gonna be the face and you're still gonna be managing them. In the future, you can have a head coach whose job is to oversee those coaches, would then manage the other 3 with the KPIs and systems and stuff that you set up as a coach, okay? So I know I went really in the weeds there, but I just wanna show you what happens at scale of like, where does this business go? Right? If I have one-on-one coaching, I want to scale that. How do I scale that? Well, that's kind of what the systems look like for operations of actually being able to deliver that level of service. Okay. So now I'm going to erase this and we're going to jump into group coaching next. Okay. All right. So the second option you have is group coaching. Now, group coaching, I will tell you, it is much harder to sell. Okay. The reason for this is that they don't have that same individualized approach as you do with one-on-one. Now you can, like I said, use a hybrid model where you've got group and one-on-one interactions, but the one-on-one interactions are a little bit more limited. But the group coaching can be harder to sell, and typically it's at a lower price point. Okay. So if you want to hit 100K months, you're going to have to sell a lot more. But the beauty of group coaching here is that you can have, group calls, and a lot of the check-ins that you're going to be doing are going to be more form check-ins, as in like they're going to submit a form and your team is going to review it and get back to them. But there's often a longer delay by the time someone submits something and someone gets a response. So you can really you can scale this with group calls and then having a program that is more like, I'm going to call it standardized. Okay. And that's like everyone has the same program. Everyone has the same program. There's group calls. They do have like messenger support, right, to their coach. But again, the response time is probably 24 hours. Okay. Now, this works really well if you have, I'll tell you right now, if you've got a big audience, I would definitely run this or experiment with this. And I'd say big audience is like, 50K plus followers. That's not super big, but if you got 50K plus followers, the group coaching model can work if you've already got traction and you want to test it. The one-on-one coaching model, it's got the most upside potential because you can charge the higher prices and it's easier to sell and the programming is customized and they get messenger access, they get pretty much everything. But the challenge here is like I said, like the bottleneck is you've got to get really good at creating systems, right? Because it's not just you. I'm going to be honest, like coaching somebody one-on-one, having a one-on-one check-in call or writing the program and sending it to them, that's easy, okay? When you have, 400 clients to make, 100K a month, now things are a little bit difficult, right? How do I know that all 400 of these clients are getting a high level of service? And that comes from building systems and creating KPIs and metrics. Well, what's our satisfaction score? Do you send out a satisfaction survey? Probably not. Like if it's just you don't need to. But when you start to surpass, really honestly, it's above 100 clients, you need to have other things in place in your business that give you eyes in the sky. Of course, we want to trust our coaches. With the one-on-one coaching model, if we've got 4 coaches, of course we want to trust them, but we still need some data to show, are they doing their job or not, right? Are they doing a good job? How can they improve? Okay, and that's where systems come into play. All right, so again, that's number one. That's probably the meat and potatoes here. But I want to share with you the second thing that you're going to need. And this first part here, systems, is what nobody talks about, but it's probably the most important thing in growing a business. And the second thing is what everyone talks about, right? It's going to be categorized as marketing, but really what we need is awareness. Okay. We need awareness, and not just awareness from like our Instagram account and of like the people who already follow us, but we need new awareness every single day. We need new people, right? We need new followers. We need new leads. Again, my handwriting's a little ugly. Get excited and I write faster. We need new applications, right? I'm gonna call it new apps. And then we need new calls, right? New calls on the books. Okay, because that's what typically for both of these models, both group and one-on-one, stick to phone sales for as long as you can, especially if you're under 100K a month, stick to phone sales. Okay, but we need marketing and awareness every single day. We need new followers, new leads, all this, right? And this is what this is honestly what a lot of my content is focused around, right? Is I talk a ton about marketing because that's also the sexy thing, right? Like I've tried to brand myself as a systems guy. Yeah, because that's honestly like where a lot of mine and my team's skill sets is this stuff, is like really building the back end, but it's just not as sexy as marketing and awareness and all that stuff, right? If you guys only saw the back end systems that we've got for what we build, like it's pretty cool. For the price point that we have, holy cow, I'm like super proud of it. Shameless plug. But let's come back to this. So we need systems to scale and make sure our clients are getting results, and then we need new awareness. And there's really only I'm just going to say there's really 2 ways to do this. Sure, there's others, but we're going to limit this because I think this is going to be the most pertinent, right? There's really 2 ways to generate this awareness, okay? Number 1 is what most people focus on is content, okay? And then number 2 is going to be ads, okay? Now, most people flip this, I think, and do it backwards. They focus on content first, right? And they're always trying to create viral content. Okay. The real challenge with this is that we're not in control of the algorithm. There's going to be some posts that we make that get a ton of views, and there'll be some that get no views. And we can't control that. And that can be really frustrating. It can be extremely frustrating, right? But I will say there are some coaches and content creators who are really good at doing that. And if you're one of them, like you already have a track record of creating viral content, this can be an incredible way to generate new awareness every single day if you're good at that. But I'll tell you what, this skill to create viral content, this takes years to develop. I'm not even kidding, years to develop. I wish it was faster, but it takes a long time, okay? And people who are telling you that you can do it faster, they're lying to you. They're trying to get you to buy from them. They've been doing it for probably a decade, and they're like, I can teach you to do this in 90 days, 1 million views. Bull, okay? And then the other way is ads, okay? The other way is ads. You know, from my experience, again, most people flip it. They're like, I gotta do content first, right? If I do content first, then I can do ads once I have money, and then I'm gonna grow really fast. But that's actually backwards. If we look at Alex Hormozi, he grew his business and scaled it with ads. If we look at Cole Gordon, he's the same way. He's creating a lot of content now. It gets a lot of views, but it wasn't that same way. He started with ads, direct response ads saying, hey, is this you? Do you want this thing? If so, take this action, okay? The cool part with ads is that there is a clear return on investment, right? If I put, $1 in, my goal is to get anywhere from $4 to $6 out, okay? And that's what we want to have every day, okay? And I'm a huge fan of learning how to run ads, okay? Now, you could say the same thing. Well, Matt, you just said, viral content takes years and that people will tell you it goes fast. They're just trying to sell you. Are you doing the same thing with ads? Now, full disclosure, I do have a program that teaches people how to run ads. But the reason I have that is because I believe in it. I believe in it. And I've seen how fast it can go. I'm not going to say you're going to get rich overnight and you're going to put, on day one, you're going to put $1 in and get $4 out. Sure, we do have clients that do that, but no, like when you're getting started, most people's job is, can I get $1, put $1 in and get $1 out, right? It just requires reps, right? And then, okay, month 2, can I put $1 in and get $2 out? And then as you get better at the skill and understand it more, that's where you can get $1 in and get 6 out, okay? This is very doable. There's definitely some people who can do like 10 times return on investments, etc. I think Alex Hormozi said his advertising in to out is like $32 or something crazy. I don't know how he calculated that, but regardless, like I'll tell you what I see is common is like this. Okay. This is very common. Like I said, this is like month 1, month 2, month 3 is like, can I put one in and get one out? But like once you're starting to grow, if you can put $1 in and even get 2 out, you can start to scale. You can start to scale. And this doesn't require that much spend to get started, okay? So coming back up to this, you have to have a new way to generate awareness every day. And if you don't, you're not gonna be able to scale. You just won't. Like you have to have more people, more eyeballs to see your content, to engage in your stuff so that you can nurture, invite to calls, etc. And if you don't have that, you won't be able to scale a coaching business. Okay, so that's all I got for today. The 2 things that you need to grow from 10K a month to 100K a month are systems, really systems around fulfillment, right? We talked a lot about that. And then 2 is how do I have new awareness every single day to start having new followers, new leads, new appointments, new calls, and that has to be ongoing. The reason I like ads over content is that it's predictable and I know if I put money in, I can legit exclude people who've already seen my content to just get it in front of new eyeballs, okay? And if you can do this consistently, and if you can learn how to turn $1 into $2 to $4 to $6, you'll scale fast. As you're doing that, you can start playing with content and start learning how to do that. Because if you can crack both of these codes together, you will never have a problem ever again about how to grow and scale your coaching business. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. If you guys are looking for support to grow your coaching business, I'll have a link below to schedule a call with my team, and we can walk you through exactly how we help all of our coaches install both of these things, systems and awareness, into their businesses so they can grow and scale online. All right, that's all I got for today. Peace.